eye-catching shadow boxing with Misheelt BATTUMUR from Mongolia, an incredibly accomplished operator in IBA 3-round boxing, stepping up over the longer format in this contest scheduled for 6 3-minute rounds.
А сейчас прошу приветствуйте на пути в золотой угол ринга боксер из России Таркхан IDIGOV.
His opponent, undefeated in the professional ranks, having won his pro debut a year ago in March of 2023, and that is Tarkhan IDIGOV, 23 years of age, from right here in Russia. Still competes over the 3-round format of IBA boxing and was most recently in action in the 2023 European Cup in Budva in Montenegro. In October of last year, vastly experienced in the 3-round form of boxing, competing all over the world. Here he is, about to contest his longest scheduled contest to date. This contest is scheduled for 6 3-minute rounds.
Итак, дамы и господа, нас ожидает 6 раундов бокса в весовой категории до 67 килограммов. Первым представляю боксера в черном углу ринга. Ему 26 лет, рост 173 сантиметра. Он чемпион Монголии, бронзовый призер чемпионата мира в Ташкенте из Улан-Батора, Монголия, Misheelt BATTUMUR. Боксеру в золотом углу 23 года. Его рост 177 сантиметров. Мастер спорта международного класса. Двукратный чемпион России. Участник чемпионата мира в Ташкенте с профессиональным рекордом 1 бой. В нем одержана победа, представляющий Енди, Чеченская республика, Таркхан IDIGOV. Рефери поединка Сергей Журкин, Россия.
Head up, no low blow. Listen and follow my call, okay? Good luck.
So there, a look at the tail of the tape between these two talented young boxers ahead of this welterweight contest scheduled for 6 3-minute rounds.
Первый раунд.
And we are underway. Two incredibly accomplished operators from the 3-round format of IBA boxing facing off over the longer duration here. Welterweight action scheduled for 6. Both men coming in just right on the 67-kilogram welterweight limit. The man wearing the black trunks trimmed with gold, looking to get to work with his lead left jab, is Misheelt BATTUMUR from Mongolia, 26 years of age, from Erdenet City. The southpaw, who is slightly taller, wearing the white trunks trimmed with gold, is Tarkhan IDIGOV, 23 years of age. Both of these men have represented their nation. That's a beautiful right hand to the body from BATTUMUR. How about that for variety on that lead right hand? Straight jabs, then turning around the corner to score behind the lead right glove of IDIGOV. IDIGOV coming forward, advancing, kind of stiff lead right jab of his own, but he's doing a good job moving around the target, is BATTUMUR. Solid right jab landed, and then a right jab left cross. Just stiffens the legs of BATTUMUR momentarily, takes another southpaw left, landed with a bent arm and a high elbow. And now the leverage really beginning to be increased by these boxers approaching the halfway stage of the first round. IDIGOV tucking up tightly behind those high-held gloves, scoring with a good southpaw left after he set it up with the right jab. perhaps too big a gap between the shots for it to be called a combination. And even though he's protecting his head, bracketing his head with his hands, is IDIGOV. There is an avenue of opportunity down to the body. Sharp right hand fired out by BATTUMUR. Swing and a miss with the left cross from IDIGOV. And now IDIGOV just proffering a different look, just content to hold his hand down by his belt line when he's on the edge of range. Plenty of feinting in evidence with the eyes, the hands, the feet from both boxers. 30 seconds got remaining in this opening round. Solid left jab fired out by BATTUMUR, who's just a little less busy with that lead left hand than he was in the opening stages of this first round. And I wonder whether the solid shot that he was clipped with, good left hand to the body scored by IDIGOV, and then showing variety once again, scoring both upstairs and downstairs. He was countered by a single right cross to the body from BATTUMUR. Fantastic opening round of boxing. It was this man who was setting the tempo in the early stages, but then he was clipped by a solid shot from the Russian southpaw, and that just seemed to change his approach a little bit. Less busy with his hands, and it was far more circumspect as we take a look at some of the action from that opening frame. There was the left cross, checking the chin of BATTUMUR in the early stages. Took it well, his boxing stance wasn't disrupted, but there was a change in approach discernible after he absorbed that solid left cross from IDIGOV. So referee just sending both boxers to different neutral corners before beginning the second round. Slightly delayed exit from BATTUMUR's corner team in between rounds 1 and 2. Mention the fact that both of these men have represented the fantastic boxing nations of Mongolia and Russia on the global stage at the World Championships. Misheelt, BATTUMUR's World Championship appearance came at the Stark Arena in Belgrade at the back end of 2021. I was ringside for the entirety of that tournament. Lost in the second preliminary round to the man from Chinese Taipei. Whereas Tarkhan IDIGOV is looking to land solidly, looking for a lead right hook but was inaccurate, but IDIGOV represented Russia. Single left lands once again out of that southpaw stance, but his World Championship appearance coming at the Puma Arena in Tashkent in May of last year. Lost in the second preliminary round. Finding the range terrifically with that trip hammer of a right jab, then turned it into a hook. And did you see how high he got the elbow before spearing it down? Type of shot that can break the skin as he scores with a left cross to the body, then brings a left cross to the head. And BATTUMUR takes another backhand to the body. Right jab goes in between his defenses as the two men step on the feet of one another in this battle between orthodox and southpaw boxer. But this has been a blistering start to the second round from IDIGOV. Double right hand landed from BATTUMUR. The first one was blocked by the glove. The second one did get through. And there's just a reddening to the nostril of IDIGOV, and it could have been that second right cross in the cluster of two in quick succession. As BATTUMUR looking for right hooks on that occasion. Oh, that's a cracking left cross, which dips the knees of BATTUMUR, but again, showing stout punch resistance because he maintains his boxing stance. How on earth did he remain upright after absorbing that howitzer of an overhand left from IDIGOV? So just increasing the distance between himself and his opponent now. 30 seconds to negotiate for BATTUMUR for the remainder of this round as he absorbs another solid right jab. Left uppercut was what the Russian boxer was looking for, but instead he takes a right uppercut on the inside from BATTUMUR, who was rocked solidly by that pile-driving left cross. Have his legs and energy levels recovered? They appear to have done so. So much exhalation on that attempted overhand right that the mouthpiece has been dislodged. So the referee will retrieve it. He'll go to the black corner. It will be rinsed and reinserted. Now keep an eye on the referee, because he will indicate to BATTUMUR that this is the first time that the mouthpiece has been dislodged. And there you see, if it comes out another 2 times, that will result in a point deduction from the scorecard of BATTUMUR. But the manner in which both of these men are going after one another, particularly IDIGOV, I wouldn't be surprised if this contest ended. Crunching overhand left out of that southpaw stance. So into the 3rd round we go then. Wonderful skill and ring craft in evidence from both of the boxers so far, but for my money, it is the man in the white trunks trimmed with gold, Russia's Tarkhan IDIGOV, who is getting the better of this contest thus far, with 6 minutes in the book. There's a nice right hand again, twice in quick succession before bringing a left hook into play from BATTUMUR. But he really does appear to be heavy-handed, does IDIGOV. There's a left cross once again, which came behind a right jab on that occasion. And again, just content to operate behind a low-held lead right hand. IDIGOV shooting that jab up from out of the eye line, perhaps, of the Mongolian boxer. There he brings it from the shoulder in an altogether more direct fashion. And again, look at the feinting as the two of them work to try and create openings for their lead jabs in particular. Beautiful exchange, and it's 1st and 3rd boxing from BATTUMUR. Howlett sort of a left hook slammed in from IDIGOV, and now the two men standing toe-to-toe, bringing whoops of appreciation from this crowd here. Nice counter right hand to the body from BATTUMUR, as the crowd increasing their decibel level in appreciation of what they are witnessing here halfway through the 3rd round of this welterweight contest scheduled for 6. Nice defensive with the gloves and forearms, but such was the force on the half hook, half uppercut from the backhand of IDIGOV that it still disrupted the stance of BATTUMUR. But then after IDIGOV swung and missed, it was a good portion of the round from BATTUMUR, scoring effectively, particularly to the body. Nice right hand from BATTUMUR, looking for that same shot once again, then a nudging right uppercut as IDIGOV just being forced backwards momentarily, and that hasn't been a posture he's adopted often in this contest. Now, can BATTUMUR continue to push the Russian boxer back? And if he does so, as he scores effectively to the body, but the referee telling BATTUMUR that the shot strayed below the belt line. But if BATTUMUR can push IDIGOV backwards, what will it do to the effectiveness and efficiency of the Russian boxer? Good body shot once again, but then IDIGOV comes straight back, looking to establish his primacy on the front foot once more. It's a rare boxer who can box going forwards, backwards, and laterally left and right, because oftentimes a boxer, down to their personality, their physique, their skill set, often has a distinct preference. Have to be able to do a little bit of everything. There's a nice left hook out of the southpaw stance to end that exchange. But what exchanges we're witnessing here, because BATTUMUR appears to have made his mind up to approach this contest differently.
Четвертый раунд.
So into the second half of this welterweight contest then. And after the command of box and the referee, the action getting underway with a lead right hook from Tarkhan IDIGOV. We just pushed backwards on a couple of occasions, just as it's been doing now by BATTUMUR. But after engaging reverse gear for one of the few times in the contest in round number 3, IDIGOV was keen to get back on the front foot, stand his ground at least, and then force his opponent backwards. Mention the fact that both of these men have represented their respective homelands on the global stage. Beautiful counter right hand from BATTUMUR once again, looking for that same right hand once more. And the right hand, a really effective antidote against the southpaw stance. And this toe-to-toe stuff now in the center of the boxing ring. Cracking right hook landed by IDIGOV, but back comes BATTUMUR with a jab and then spins in front of his man before landing with a left-right combination. And there he goes to work, upstairs then downstairs. IDIGOV looks to counter, left hook to the body of his own, but it's BATTUMUR getting the better of these exchanges now because he's letting his punches go with more frequency. Now IDIGOV, of course, appears to be the heavier puncher, and that brings into play the existential philosophical discussion about boxing. What's better, one thunderbolt of a cross or a hook, or 20 feather-light jabs without reply? As IDIGOV goes in search of his southpaw left once again, but look at the good job that BATTUMUR is doing, spinning off the line in front of his man. Here he takes a left hand over the top, and another one at mid-range. But he's always remaining in punching range since that change of approach in the second round. Good defense with the right glove from BATTUMUR to ward off the southpaw left that was fired in by IDIGOV. But for the majority of rounds 3 and here in the 4th, BATTUMUR content to stay in punching range and spin off the line, just as he did there, moving in front of his man. Right hook scored from IDIGOV, and that is why this one has been transformed into terrific two-way action. Each man scoring, then being scored upon. Not that they're neglecting defense. There's a cracking 6-shot salvo, left, right, left, right, left, right from BATTUMUR, and it brings the grin of the gum shield from IDIGOV. And this contest taking on a nutritional quality now, as a right uppercut is turned underneath from BATTUMUR. His face streaked with the blood that is leaking from the nose of IDIGOV. Oh, that's a cracking left hook landed out of the southpaw stance from IDIGOV that dislodges the mouthpiece of BATTUMUR. Now again, the referee going through the same process, retrieving the mouthpiece, handing it to the corner man. It will be rinsed and reinserted, and now the referee will tell BATTUMUR that this is the second time. The first one was on an exhalation when he looked to land a shot in the previous round. This one was dislodged by a punch. And so if the mouthpiece comes out once more, it will be a point off the card of BATTUMUR Misheelt. Some of the action from round number 3, it was toe-to-toe fair all the way through. Terrific work to the body, but then countered immediately upstairs by the Russian boxer. The two styles combining beautifully. And there was again, wonderfully picked left cross at mid-range from Tarkhan IDIGOV. Remember, undefeated in the pro ranks, having won his debut back in March of last year. But when he answers the bell for round number 5, it will be uncharted territory that IDIGOV is entering into.
Секунданты. Пятый раунд.
So into the 5th round of what has been a wonderfully competitive contest between two outstanding box punchers here at the Academy of Martial Arts in Sochi's Olympic Park. And there has been a real change in approach from Misheelt BATTUMUR since the third round, and for my money, it is paying dividends. Because he's, after absorbing a left hand which dipped his knees in the second round, he came out in the third round, changed tactics, and this is the type of success that it is yielding. Letting his hands go with more frequency, and again, ensuring that he's having the final word in these short and mid-range exchanges up in the boxing ring. Now again, he's also walking a little bit of a tightrope here, is Misheelt BATTUMUR, because his mouthpiece has been dislodged twice. Once in the third round as he scored effectively to the body once again. IDIGOV comes back with a right hook over the top, but then having the final word to make it first and third boxing is BATTUMUR in the black trim with gold. Terrific exchange, right cross with the most eye-catching shot, and he's digging away with that backhand to both body and head, bringing whoops of appreciation from the crowd here at the Academy of Martial Arts. And again, as he goes into the fifth round for the first time, Tarkhan IDIGOV continuing to acquit himself well and showing that he remains very much up for this contest, looking to push his man backwards and go in search of his opportunities. Both men scoring with jabs, left, right, twice in quick succession from BATTUMUR. Beautiful right hook once again from IDIGOV. Three-shot combination, all the shots were blocked. The final left hook downstairs from BATTUMUR caught by the elbow of IDIGOV. As IDIGOV tucking up tightly, there's a nice left uppercut at mid-range which got beneath the right glove of BATTUMUR. And the mouthpiece has come out again. Oh my goodness. Well, we mentioned the precarious tightrope that the man from Mongolia was walking, because this, the third time that the mouthpiece has been dislodged, means that a point will be deducted from the scorecard of the man from Mongolia, which is really unfortunate. So let's keep an eye on the ref. Point deduction, an ill-fitting mouthpiece, and that has got to be frustrating from Misheelt BATTUMUR's point of view, because he's acquitted himself wonderfully in this contest to get himself in it, right back in it, after 4 completed rounds for my money. But this, well, it's the 10-point must system that's in effect. So one boxer must score 10. As the atmosphere going through the roof here at the Academy of Martial Arts, as these two boxers continue to put on a magnificent exhibition of the sweet science, fought in the most wonderful spirit. Well, again, BATTUMUR and his corner will be disappointed that the mouthpiece, the second time it was a punch that dislodged it, but on the first and the third time, well, that just looked down to being rather ill-fitting. And that means that a point will come off the scorecard of BATTUMUR Misheelt. So even if he won that round, it would read 10-1, as one boxer must score 10. In the event that he lost the round 10-9, 10-9 for a close round, 10-8 for a clear winner, 10-7 for total domination in IBA boxing.
Финальный шестой раунд. Сириус, поддержите
Puts an entirely different complexion on what was a really hard-fought affair. So into the sixth and final round we go. And I wonder what that point deduction has done to the fighting spirit of Misheelt BATTUMUR. Will it have dampened it after he worked so hard to get himself back in contention, after probably conceding the opening 2 rounds for my money, where he was picked off by some solid southpaw lefts, but then a change in approach, which is something that outstanding boxers can do, while the great ones do it on the fly mid-round. Think of 1976 Olympic champion Sugar Ray Leonard against Tommy Hearns in that unification battle way back at the start of the 80s. Think of Joe Calzaghe in more recent times in his tussle against fellow undefeated champion in that unification contest against Mikkel Kessler. at the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff, the Principality Stadium in Cardiff, beneath the closed roof. Changing on the fly mid-round, just Misheelt has success, but then he's tagged by an overhand right, which dislodges the mouthpiece once again. That's the 4th time that the mouthpiece has come out. 1 time in each of rounds 3, 4, 5, and here in the 6th. And so it's another point deduction. Once you go over the 3-round threshold, it will be a point each time. And in the event that it comes out, continues to come out, he could find himself facing a disqualification. But knowing that he's endured a difficult passage of the round, look at the response it brings about from BATTUMUR. But IDIGOV, keeping his composure, fires off the ropes with a southpaw left cross of his own. And it's wonderful two-way action between these 2 accomplished IBA boxers. The decibel level being dialed up to maximum and then some, raising the roof here at the Academy of Martial Arts. And BATTUMUR drawing inspiration from it, going body hunting before ending his salvo with a left hook upstairs. As he continues to move around the target in front of his man, just presenting a different angle to IDIGOV. But IDIGOV has stuck to his task wonderfully, has dealt with the inconvenience of a damaged nose, picked up in around the 3rd round, not let it affect his concentration or his breathing in a contest that has taken on an attritional quality, fighting in his first 6-round contest, as is BATTUMUR. Well, both men have acquitted themselves wonderfully. Double left hook, body, then head from BATTUMUR, who is going in search of the inside the distance finish that he surely requires. But he's facing a teak-tough operator in the form of Tarkhan IDIGOV, who is showing that he can't just give it out, but he can take it as well. As BATTUMUR lets his hands go in blistering fashion, IDIGOV drops his hands contemptuously and then scores with a cracking counter left hook. But it's the final word had by BATTUMUR once again. BATTUMUR, remember, docked another point in this round after his mouthpiece was dislodged for the 4th time in the bout. And on the 10-second clapper, these 2 boxers treating the crowd to a terrific demonstration of back-and-forth 2-way action as the men share a sporting embrace, having gained the respect of one another over the course of 6 torrid 3-minute rounds. What a fantastic contest we have just witnessed in the welterweight division. We mentioned the accomplishments from the form of 3-round IBA boxing that these 2 boxers bring in to this IBA Champions Night Fair. And my goodness, it didn't diminish as both of them entered new territory for the first time. For BATTUMUR when entering round 4, for IDIGOV when entering round 5, having made his professional debut over 4 3-minute rounds last March. The quality remained incredibly high from opening bell to last. But I think, given those point deductions, it is going to be Tarkhan IDIGOV who will have his hand raised as a points victor. But BATTUMUR Misheelt was in this contest every second of the way, and were it not for the point deductions, well, the scorecards would be far closer than they're ultimately going to be declared in just a few moments' time by our MC. A fantastic contest, well worthy of a rematch in my opinion. And given the competitive spirit demonstrated by both boxers during the course of that bout, I have no doubt whatsoever that they would be keen to get it on again. We're here in Tarkhan IDIGOV's homeland of Russia. What if a Champions Night event from IBA Boxing was to go to Ulaanbaatar in Mongolia for the return, or neutral territory? Either way, these 2 men likely to extract the very best from one another once again, as they have done here at the Academy of Martial Arts in Sochi's Olympic Park.
В этом поединке, который без сомнения займет место в золотой коллекции турниров Лига ставок Ночь чемпионов IBA. Оба бойца выложились по полной и достойны ваших аплодисментов. Итак, в этом потрясающем поединке единогласным решением судей победу по очкам одержал боксер из золотого угла Таркхан IDIGOV.
So Tarkhan IDIGOV, a points victor over Misheelt of Mongolia, but it is wonderful to see the respect that exists between the two boxers after that hard-fought contest. It was competitive for every second that it lasted, particularly from round 3 onwards. And how about that for some energetic athleticism from Misheelt BATTUMUR. It is Tarkhan IDIGOV and his team who pose for the pictures being captured by the photographers here. But the change in tactics after Tarkhan IDIGOV got the better of the first 2 rounds for my money with his potent, powerful punch picking. Misheelt BATTUMUR changed tactics in the 3rd, stood in the pocket, gave his man angles and enjoyed far more success, but that what we just saw a few moments ago. The mouthpiece was dislodged in the 3rd round, 4th round, 5th and 6th, and it resulted in 2-point deductions from the scorecard of BATTUMUR Misheelt, but this was the storming fashion in which he ended the contest. A back and forth affair that was fought practically toe-to-toe or on the edge of range at best. But Tarkhan IDIGOV declared a points victor at the end of 6 pulsating rounds of action. What a contest!